Some pretty incredible news coming out in the past 24 hours. Clarification on attacks on U.S. soil to our water systems, electrical grids, our infrastructure. This is the focus, they're saying, of Hamas and other terrorist groups that would like to attack the U.S. Now, take a look. As I shared with you, 48 hours ago, this came out on Tuesday, the FBI says terrorism threat hits a whole other level after Hamas attacks. Hamas attack will inspire the greatest U.S. terror threat since ISIS, the FBI director says, and more details coming out just yesterday on this. I shared it with you live, but a lot of people said they'd like to see the actual articles and see it on the screen. All of these will be linked in the description below, but take a look. U.S. officials hold their breath for Iranian cyber attacks. Critical infrastructure owners and operators are stepping up their security as the U.S. government keeps a close eye on evolving threats from Tehran in cyberspace, and they are saying that they are already here, planning to attack U.S. major cities. And what they're planning is not only physical attacks, but attacks against our infrastructure, to take down our water systems, to take down our power grids, to overthrow our airports. They're saying they're trying to take down U.S. systems. Now, the FBI just said that this is a major concern. They are on high alert, and they believe that this could be happening right now. And we also heard from Congress that same day that they believe the terrorists are already here. They've been pouring into our borders literally a week prior to the Israel-Hamas war being announced. Biden flipped the script and said, build the wall. Could it be that they know that terrorists are already here planning things? And we heard from the FBI director that just last week there was a terrorist threat in Houston, Texas, and a bomber was stopped. And we've heard of attacks and things happening in Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, New Orleans, all around the nation. There are protests, attacks taking place, and we're hearing that things are likely going to be getting worse. And we've also heard that this war is not coming to an end anytime soon, and it looks like the only nation backing Israel at this time is the United States. And take a look at this. Outrage as Iran's regime chairs the United Nations Human Rights Council body despite alarming abuses. And they're saying Iran is leading the Human Rights Council chair for the UN. And will the U.S. continue to stand for Israel? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the article. Like I said, I'm going to put it on the screen. I'll link this down below so that way you can get the details of the attacks that they're saying could be coming against our infrastructure systems. And I say all this to let people know, make preparations for what you are about to hear the details of. Maybe you need to stock up on water, get backup generators, whatever it is that you need to do in preparation, please do so. And you appreciate the knowledge being transmitted, and I believe that knowledge is power. Do me a favor, smash the like button, just takes a second. And if you want to stay up to date, it's totally free. Why not? Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell. And if you appreciate the updates and want to support the channel, you can take it a step further by hitting the join button. And in return, I will have all these articles popping up on your YouTube feed as I'm citing every single article in the sources for members. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right into this article, get you caught up on the latest. All right, so link in the description below to this article that just came out yesterday, giving us more details on what the FBI believes is being planned and plotted right now on U.S. soil from attacks from Hamas being funded by Iran. Now, the article says that the U.S. government is prepping for a potential onslaught of Iranian cyber attacks in retaliation for support for Israel in its conflict with Hamas. It's far from just Israel at risk of cyber attacks from the Hamas-aligned regime's cyber operatives, U.S. officials say. They also see the United States and other nations that support Israel's government as likely targets. Such attacks could take the form of attempting to damage critical systems like water or electricity. So there you heard it. So water, they potentially could be doing something to the water. Electricity, taking out our power grids, would likely involve widespread disinformation efforts and could also involve proxies to keep Iran's fingerprints off of incidents. So as these take place, making it look like it came from somewhere else. The cyber targeting of American interests and critical infrastructure that we already see conducted by Iran and non-state actors alike, we can expect to get worse if the conflicts expand, as will the threats of kinetic attacks as well. The FBI Director Christopher Wray testified to the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee on Tuesday. And we have heard from Israel that this conflict is nowhere from over, that they are going through Gaza. They said they will end Hamas and they will not stop until it's done. Now, multiple U.S. federal agencies have stressed that they have yet to see any intelligence suggesting that Iran is planning an imminent attack on the U.S. critical infrastructure. but they're on heightened alert and hoping that the new defenses that they created after Russia invaded Ukraine, which brought worries about cyber attacks in the U.S. to the forefront, will be able to adapt and grow to accommodate threats on multiple fronts. Iran backs a network of sophisticated cyber operatives akin to those that work with Russia and China, who have the capacity to tunnel into government systems and or disable companies' entire computer networks. Tehran has launched attacks in the U.S. in the past, but the risk is far higher and more serious in light of the conflict in Gaza. Tehran has long funded Hamas and other pro-Palestinian groups, and since the October 7th attacks by Hamas on Israel, Iran-backed armed groups in the Middle East have launched drone attacks against the U.S. forces in Iraq and Syria. I could envision the possibility that we have to be prepared for this, of an effort to attack our critical infrastructure or our electrical grid, or, for example, air traffic systems, water, said Michael Chertoff, the former Secretary of Homeland Security under the Bush administration. A DHS official, speaking anonymously to reporters as a condition of a briefing last month, said that in the days following October 7th's attack by Hamas militants on Israel, DHS held a call with the FBI and other agencies with almost 4,000 law enforcement officials throughout the country to discuss any potential physical or cyber threats stemming from the conflict. The official declined to provide details on those dangers, but said that the agency is actively monitoring the situation in Israel for threats to the U.S. homeland. So they're not giving any specific details, just that they are on high alert right now, that they believe that potential attacks could be coming to U.S. soil. DHS's Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, which would take the lead in any response, said that it has stepped up its efforts to monitor for a new wave of cyber attacks against U.S. critical infrastructures following the October 7th strike. Eric Goldstein, Executive Director of Cybersecurity for CISA, said in a statement that the agency has been in continuous coordination with other Israeli partners since the horrific terrorist attacks. A spokesperson for the Office of the National Cyber Director declined to comment on what steps are being taken to defend against Iran's attacks, while a spokesperson from the White House National Security Council did not respond to repeated requests for comments either. Now, the DHS official said that it is also sharing threat information with a range of outside groups that could be targeted by Iranian cyber attacks, including religious organizations. Specifically, the official said that DHS is providing information to faith-based information sharing and analyst organizations, which monitor threats to a range of U.S. religious groups. Cyber threats from Iran are certain and ongoing, Warwick noted in his written testimony. This is an area where Iran could pull off a strategic surprise. At that hearing, members on both sides of the aisle highlighted Iranian cyber threats as a particular worry for the United States amid the Israel-Hamas conflict. The Iranian regime is becoming more determined and more adept at its meticulous activities, Committee Chair Mark Green said during the hearing. And officials and lawmakers alike warn that preparations need to be happening right now. There may not be specific information or intelligence about an attack yet, but you don't necessarily want to wait until that happens. Now, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, but I totally agree. If the FBI and Congress both come out warning the same thing on the same day, it's probably a good idea for us to be on the lookout. And the next day, just yesterday, in the past 24 hours, we've gotten details that the attacks might not be physical attacks, but cyber attacks on our infrastructure systems to take down U.S. systems on U.S. soil in major cities. And I feel like we should be on the lookout and take the proper preparations. So maybe stacking up on water, like I said, getting a generator, doing whatever it is that you need to do to make sure that you and your family are taken care of. Now, you guys, as more information comes out, I'll be sure to share here on the channel so that way you know exactly what's going on. And if you want to get more details on the latest taking place, be sure to watch these videos right here next as well. And again, if you appreciate the updates, smash the like button for me, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.